Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And interesting that we start with a Seven of Swords. There is, it feels like there's some kind of, not a blockage, but it feels like there's an attempt to block your energy right now, right? Like I feel like there are elements around you that are just like not supportive of what you're trying to do, right? Let's put this into some context. I feel like you're trying to stay on your central path, right? That central sword, that Ace of Swords energy. We're trying to stay focused. You're trying to stay kind of on track, on point. You're trying to stay committed, but it feels like there are other energies, and it could be our own thoughts too, trying to pull us in different directions. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Let's put that into some context. All right. Oh, well, we've got the Justice or Adjustment card, and that's very interesting because there is this these what feels like distractions or blockages or things coming in to try to pull you or block you from your path. There is also this kind of this discerning energy about you right now, where it really is. It's kind of a very, it's like you're not taking it personally. You know, when these other energies come in, we're not having an emotional reaction. We're having just a very kind of professional judgment about things and dealing with them accordingly, right? So it's very calm, it's very balanced, and it's very almost objective, right? Right now, there's not this emotional reaction against what these blockages are, and that might be the best way to handle it, right? Just kind of taking things just in the course of business, as they say. Yeah. Let's see what else we've got here. Now we're probably going to get, a lot of water energy. No, not too much though. We got a 9, we got a 4. So this is something where it's really it's about you transcending this limited circumstance of the 4 of Cups. Okay. And what we really want is a 9 of Cups. So this is down beneath everything. This is underneath the situation. This is within you. And this is what you really are aspiring toward. Okay, now we've got the Queen. The Queen of Pentacles is very good. This is a card that is very retrospective, right? And of course we have the Magician card. Let's see what else we've got. A Princess of Cups or Page of Cups. A Princess or Page of Pentacles. That's very interesting. The water here is looking to manifest in the earth. Your feelings, your desires, your soul desires, right? Your dreams are looking for a place in the real world. This is really, really good. And of course, Mercury, the Magician, is the weaver of dreams, right? This is the one that is really giving you a direct perception of what it is you really want in life and the way forward to manifest it, okay? And there's no limitations here, okay? No limitations at all there. Now we've got the Prince of Swords, which is double air. There might be this we gotta deal with that. Okay, this could be the person that's kind of trying to interfere or trying to confuse you. I almost feel like there's something here there's some element that's trying to confuse you, right? Let's see what our final card is. 2 of Swords, that's peace of mind, right? That is a reliance on intuition rather than on, it's kind of like transcending the confusion that's trying to be implemented here by someone, outside of things. Okay. And I wonder if sometimes you kind of feel like you've made the wrong decision. Spirit's kind of telling me that there is this issue with, like, it's a very sensitive subject. It's almost like you're already kind of doubting yourself, and so then when this other energy comes in, it's maybe enough to kind of push us over that edge where then we really start to doubt and feel like we've maybe made the wrong decision. Yeah. But I feel like we have such a capacity to dream, to feel, to aspire. And, well, especially then we've got that Queen of Pentacles here. Again, with this water and earth, right? Like we see here, water and earth. And we've got water and earth over here. So the challenge really seems to be the mental energy, because we have these swords cards. And of course, the major arcana, Libra energy, they're carrying a sword, right? This is kind of our defense against some of this swords energy. And then the Mercury is, the magician here is kind of that energy that transcends the thought process, right? This is a higher functioning of our mind. And this is a mind that's really not bothered by the swords cards, really not bothered by the blockages that are being kind of attempted, or the differing opinions, or the doubts, or the other opinions from people coming in, the naysayers, even those our own thoughts, right? That kind of question what we're doing, question our decisions. Mercury, the magician, is so concentrated and so focused that it kind of glides through all those swords. It's like, I don't know, it's like in a movie where they have all those laser beams, and you've got to kind of be the acrobat to get through all the lasers without touching one. I'm sure we've seen that. It's been in a million movies, right? That's kind of what the magician does, is able to just kind of float and glide through all of those difficult things to reach the end desire, to reach this earth energy. I really feel like this is going to be a very good month for you. Let's select the mystery card. All right. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're just going to shuffle a little bit here. All right, then we're going to set it aside. We're going to put Robo-Duck, a.k.a. Howard the Duck, a.k.a. not Howard Stern, on that mystery card. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. All right, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise. Okay. I think it'll be fun. Let's check out the cards one more time, because we've got the major arcana. And these two are really strong cards. These are really in your favor. It's saying that you have the kind of business mind, almost a legal mind. I wouldn't be surprised if you're in some sort of very professional, maybe legal kind of job or something like that, right? You've got this very, very business-like way of handling things. And then not only that, but you have this higher mind. It's almost like the magician is above all of this, doing the actual work, while this other part of your mind, that justice or adjustment energy, is taking care of all of the business kind of down below, when your higher genius is really at work, kind of taking care of the really important stuff. You know what I mean? So it is kind of like there's this transcendent part of you. And I wonder what you've really tapped into here, because I feel with the Four of Cups behind you that this is almost it kind of feels like a new start a little bit. It feels like you have, now we don't see any fire energy here, right? So I don't know that this is something that really requires a lot of kind of direct action, like meeting problems head on and really like overcoming obstacles in this kind of fiery way. No, we've got just kind of the water, we've got the earth. It's almost like there's just this mellow flow, that all this air stuff is happening, especially the Seven of Swords. Like that's kind of a challenge, right? But there's almost like a confidence that this is not really affecting us. These swords cannot injure us, right? But it's not in this aggressive, fiery way. It's in just kind of a very flowing earth and water way, right? Very yielding, very adaptable, just kind of, it's like the way water might flow around rocks and obstacles and other, sharp things in the riverbed, right? It's not trying to break through the rocks. It's just simply going around things. It's just flowing over and above and around and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like that's kind of your way of dealing with the challenges, especially challenges of our own thoughts, kind of conflicting with the decision that we've made, and also the naysayers, right? I feel like you're strong, you're very intuitive. I think Cancers are very intuitive people. I think you, especially, it's something that you're very aware of how intuitive you are, right? And that's part of kind of this higher part of our mind, deeper part, whatever you want to say, a more connected part, that kind of can see all of this, can see the riverbed for what it is, right? And so our reactions seem to be very confident, but also just very kind of easygoing, right? There's not a lot of this fiery effort here. Yeah. So we've got our two major arcana energies. We have no fire. We've got water, water, and water. We've got air, air, and air. And we've got our earth energies. Okay. So with the water energies, the Four of Cups, I feel like this is a situation that you were in. I feel like this is maybe a shift in the feelings about what you deserve in life. Yeah. I feel like this is kind of a stable place. This is an attitude that things are good. This is kind of like when people say, well, things could always be worse, right? It's a way of us being okay with our situation. It could always be worse, right? But see, I never liked that phrase because to me that feels like an excuse. It feels like an apology for not aspiring to more. Well, it could always be worse, so I'm just going to kind of accept the energy that I'm in right now. Instead of saying, well, things could always be better. So why don't we aspire to make them better? I feel like that's kind of where you're at now, right? Because we're going from this four, we're taking on these challenges. We're going against the grain kind of here, right? And we're trying to manifest, well, the dream, right? This is us living the dream. This is us understanding the dream, perceiving the dream, having the dream, right? And living it, manifesting it in the earth energy here. I feel like you've had a lot of kind of supernatural experiences when you were a kid, right? Spirit's showing me a scene. I don't know if you're on a driveway or something, but it's almost like you stop what you're doing and there's this thought bubble that's kind of appearing above your head in the vision I'm having. And it's almost as if you're watching yourself from a third person perspective. And so I wonder if you have a history of those kinds of like out of body experiences, but it's almost like it's happening not when you're sleeping or something. It's just kind of like maybe you're playing by yourself, or you're in your head, you're just using your imagination or something, and then something opens up in you. And I think that's where we get a lot of this intuition from. But I feel like you had a lot of similar kind of experiences when you were young. Yeah. You're very much focused on your happiness now. 9 of Cups. This is the pursuit of happiness. This is following your bliss. This is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, fulfillment, and satisfaction, and abundance. I think that this shift in you, whatever has happened recently, you now understand exactly what you want, and you're not indecisive. You know, I think there's still part of you that's like, I don't know if that was the right move, but there's this maybe higher or deeper or stronger part of you, more authentic part of you that, no, I know what I want. I'm not indecisive. I know how I would like to turn my 4 of Cups situation into a 9 of Cups situation, as we all would, right? And this really entails knowing what makes you happy, right? This is you knowing kind of what things to pursue in your life. You know, we're following our bliss, we're pursuing our happiness. Well, what does that mean? What does that look like? Well, with the princesses over here, Princess of Cups, Princess of Pentacles, we've got to find that out. And this could really be through experimentation, trial and error. This could be through us really diving deeper into this dream that we have, into this kind of the water energy, and having ideas, right? And maybe sometimes this is the Seven of Swords too. Having a lot of different ideas that may seem like they're taking you off track, but it might be something worth exploring to see if this is something that is kind of essential to you. Because right now we don't really want any regrets, right? We've got the Queen of Pentacles up here at the top, and this energy is looking back at the past, at what seems to be the Four of Cups, right? That's where they're looking. You can even see in this picture, the Queen is looking back at that dark, kind of winding, twisty road, long and winding road that's behind them. So this is really understanding the past, understanding every experience that you've had in life, and pulling out the wisdom from that, knowing what things we don't want to repeat and what things we do, and understanding the past and what we've been through, good, positive and negative experiences, right? Understanding all of that in a deep way will allow us then to have a little bit more influence on the future, right? Have a little bit more of a say in where we're going and how we get there. All right. So this is very important for us to understand where we've been, appreciate where we've been. Don't dwell on this. This isn't a Three of Swords, right? This is the Queen of Pentacles. This is also saying that your future self is going to look back on your decisions right now and have something to say about them. So it's kind of like we better make sure we're making all the right choices now, because our future self is watching what we're doing. Let's say, right? I know it sounds spooky, right? Reminds me of that song, Rockwell, I think. Someone's always watching me, right? It's our future self. And time in this sense, when we talk about, the true self, it's not linear time, right? So we can understand how all of our thoughts, words, and deeds right now are being looked at by our future self. Okay, and if we look at it that way, well, let's make all the right decisions now, or at least let's strive to. And the Seven of Swords is us striving to make the right decisions. We don't always do it. Nobody makes the right decisions all the time. Maybe we try to, but it doesn't always pan out that way. Okay, and that's something that the Seven of Swords really has to deal with, because a lot of these other little daggers here are doubts, are failures, are mistakes. And as many mistakes as we might make, we're still on our central path. We're not deviating from our will. Okay? And this is very important, and that is part of the Libra energy here, the Justice or Adjustment card. There is always a return to center, right? When things get a little off balance, when you kind of leaned into a mistake, well, we just course correct. That's why the card's called adjustment, And we wouldn't need this energy in our psyche, in our spirit, in our soul, if we didn't make mistakes. Then there'd be no need for adjustment. If I never did anything wrong, I would never have to correct anything, right? If all roads were straight, I wouldn't really need a steering wheel, right? But we have one. We've got to get back to the center of the road so we can travel safely. And so I feel like this is very important energy for you, but I feel like it is, it's very, very professional. I feel like you're some kind of a lawyer or like a business person. You're someone that knows how to keep the emotions kind of out of things. And I wonder, Spirit's telling me that you've become quite good at not showing your emotions on your face. Like, you don't wear your heart on your sleeve. You have this very professional outlook, even though you are feeling something very deeply, right? But I think you've learned through your life experience that you don't always need to share what you're feeling all the time, in real time, right? So there's this kind of, this mask of just professional, almost stoic. It almost feels like a stoic energy from you. Even though I think you feel things very, very deeply, you have this very rich inner life with the Princess of Cups. Yeah. So I think really good things are in store for you. I think this is going to be your very best month. I really do. Because I feel like we've decided to make this change and go after what means more to us, what has a deeper meaning and a richer value in our lives, we are now implementing that. We're going from water to earth, right? We always talk about fire to earth on this channel, but here I want to do water to earth. The dream, the feeling, the intuition, the spirit, the internal energy manifesting, right? Without effort, there's no fire energy here. There's no conflict. There's no effort. There's no aggression. It's a flow. It's just kind of this dream is coming to reality. Now, what is your dream? Well, that's the magic of all of this. Your dream is yours. And you don't have to share that with anyone if you don't want to. I feel like there is another person in your life because, we've got a lot of the court cards all in a row right here, right? And yes, it does, the dream, the manifestation, the someone that's kind of not sharing your dream, right? I think that's what this person might represent. And I'm feeling that there is a contemporary male energy to you, someone about your age, right? And I almost wonder if they kind of lost their dream, and so they're kind of resistant to you following yours, right? Do you have someone like that in your life? Now, I don't read for third parties. I don't know anything about that person. Spirit doesn't always give me access to third parties in a reading like this because it's almost like, well, you should just go talk to them rather than me trying to tell you what they're feeling or what they're experiencing or what their energy is. But it does feel like part of this blockage, part of this kind of the naysayer is coming from someone, close in your life. I don't know if it's a friend, a family member, if it's a romantic person, but I feel a contemporary male energy, okay? And also, Spirit's telling me that there was some kind of a diagnosis recently, a medical diagnosis. I don't feel like it was for you. I feel like it was for a family member. Maybe it's for this contemporary male person. I'm also getting a B name for that person. Bob something, I don't know. But there was a medical thing going on. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not making a diagnosis or any kind of medical advice or anything like that. It's something that you already know about, something that's already out in the open. It's already being discussed, right? But I feel like it was something kind of serious, something with the brain and the nervous system. And I don't know if that has something to do with now this conflict that they have with you, kind of making these steps toward fulfilling your own dreams, right? I can see that there might be a little bit of interference coming from that situation. Well, let's go over to the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it helps out the channel, and I appreciate that. So we're starting out with the Princess of Cups. I feel like you've got this very strong intuitive energy. I feel like you're very like psychically sensitive, okay? You have a lot of these intuitive gifts, and I feel like you're very apt at following the signs and symbols and synchronicities around you, okay? And so I feel like this is kind of part of it now where we've made this decision to follow this dream, to start living, kind of living by these signs and symbols. Now, this is the dreams, for one thing, but also daytime dreams, visions, right? Epiphanies, realizations, imagination, active imagination. I feel like you're making a concerted effort to follow these signs because we are living our dream. We're realizing that our dream is not just a silly story that our mind tells us at night. I feel like you understand that they are real. Yeah, and that it is vitally important to your satisfaction, your well-being, your happiness, to discover what those dreams, what these symbols, what these signs are trying to tell you. So we're living that. We're actively pursuing that, and it's kind of a change of consciousness. Yeah. We're shifting perhaps from maybe a more routine or a more complacent kind of life to now we're really activating with this 9. It's an odd number. It's an active function energy with the 9, right? So we're actively pursuing this dream and trying to manifest it, right? And we're doing so in the environment, in the real world. And there's a realization that just as your dream is infinite and unlimited, so can its manifestation be. Okay? So with the Princess of Pentacles, this is unlimited possibilities. This is also saying that you are receiving the resources and the assistance that you need. Now, I don't think it's coming from this person. I feel like this person has their own kind of thing going on. Okay? But the Princess is telling me that the more you actively follow your dream and follow your intuition and your insights and your spirituality, the more Spirit is going to like kind of meet you halfway. You know, the more you're going to get the success you need. And we all have experienced that, I think. When you feel like you're really in the flow, you're really in the harmony of the universe, it's like good things really start happening. You know, it's almost like we're attracting more harmony, right? More flow, more, and it's kind of good luck. You know, it's almost this idea that when we're really in a good mood, we're really feeling good, and we're just, we're moving with the flow of the universe, good things start happening. We feel like our luck is improving, and then we get more cheerful and optimistic, and more good things start happening. The problem there is that eventually something not good will happen. Does that throw you completely off your game, right? And I think that's the one problem, is that we expect it just to keep going and going and going and getting bigger and bigger and greater with no obstacles ever. But you seem to be familiar with this technique. And you know that there will be obstacles. You know that there will be conflicts and there will be challenging conversations. We'll call it that. I also feel like some of this is related to, like, Spirit's telling me that you used to have a lot of hobbies, or not hobbies really, but artistic interests, passions, things that you really loved, right? But then we kind of lost those. We put them aside. And I don't know, maybe it was, you know, hobbies. Maybe it was creativity. Maybe you really love to draw. Maybe you really were into like creative writing or poetry or sports, I don't know, or martial arts or anything, right? Anything that really felt good to do. I feel like you've kind of almost abandoned those. They kind of were underneath the surface. They kind of got pushed down in place of some more practical things that you had to do, right? But I think now we're seeing that it's time to return to those kinds of activities. Okay, time to return to those kinds of activities. Spirit's telling me that you're very good at reading people. Would you say that's true about yourself? Like, you kind of know what someone's energy is before they even open their mouth. Like, you know what they're going to say. You can feel a room. You can read a room. You kind of know what those conversations are going to be. So it's almost as if you can prepare yourself before the conversation even starts. Yeah. I feel like you're very, very, very in tune with this kind of energy. Yeah. And I think it makes you a bit of an enigma in your life as far as your relationships go, because people can't seem to get a good read on you. Right? I think if you think about it, you'd find that to be true. That sometimes people don't know what you're feeling. And again, like I said, you don't wear your heart on your sleeves. So it's really this, your chosen face gets presented to the world. And people have a hard time kind of reading what you're all about, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And that's not good or bad. That's just what it is right now, right? If you want some other kinds of connections, think about how we might communicate those inner experiences a little bit, okay? And that could be why we're ending with the air energy up here. Of course, we have the Prince of Swords here in this position. I feel like this is that contemporary energy, that they're going through something of their own. They want to be supportive maybe, but they're not really being supportive. That's a whole separate kind of challenge, right? Which I think is part of that 7. But then the 2 of Swords, this is peace. This is peace of mind. This ultimately is all of these challenges that are trying to kind of interfere with your plans. You're not bothered, right? Reminds me of Catherine Tate. I'm not bothered. But in your case, I don't think you actually are. So it's not really like the Catherine Tate show at all, right? Because she always was bothered. this is a peaceful mind. This is a transcendence of this kind of dualism of yes or no, yay or nay, me and you, and this conversation is back and forth. That's still taking place. But you are residing on a higher plane, it feels like. Yeah. You're trusting in the intuition. You're trusting in this spiritual connection, the psychic energy that you have. And I really think this is going to be a spectacular month, because I feel like what's really happening is this water to earth kind of cycle where you are experiencing the manifestation of your dreams, and it's kind of like a rediscovery of things. You know, it really, like, your eyes just get wide with wonder, and it's very personal, it's very internal. And maybe this is just something that's kind of like you by yourself in this experience with the world, with nature, with the universe, with the spirit. And it's almost indescribable. It's almost something that we can't really put into words. You know, so maybe that's part of the difficulty too, is trying to express to others in your life what this experience is like for you. Right? And this, in a very real way, this could be you out in nature discovering your connection with spirit, or strengthening, communing, right? A communication and a union with spirit in a very kind of secluded, natural kind of setting. Maybe you've got your own spot in the woods that you like to go to, right? But this is a very intense internal spiritual experience, a communication and a union with spirit that is happening, again, kind of on a higher plane than some of this communication issue that we're dealing with. Yeah, it's very nice. This is extraordinary energy. Let's check the mystery card. Let's see what's going on here before this video gets too long. I don't know. Do you think we need a little bit of fire energy? I don't know that we do. I don't think fire is really the way to go. I want to see some more earth energy. We have the court cards. We have the queen and the princess, right? That we are understanding kind of how to manifest this reality that we want, how to have this experience of happiness and bliss and pleasure that we want, right? This real connection. Maybe we need some practical things, to be the vehicle for that. So we need some earth energy. I want to see a 9 or a 10 of pentacles. Maybe a 9 to be the perfect vehicle for the 9 of cups. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. What's upside down? It's an ace of pentacles. That's even better. Because this is the idea that we are, well, there's two things, really. On the one hand, I kind of feel that this is the end. This is the goal. This is reality is here. It's all, you've got to the top of the mountain. Right? You worked your way up from 10 all the way to the ace. You got to the very top. This is, I also feel like this is that first step that you take. And like we said with the princesses, it might just be like experimenting. It might just be finding out kind of what that connection is, what that dream is, what it all kind of means to you and what you want to do, kind of one thing at a time, right? But if anything, this is that first step. This is you taking the initiative, taking this time in your life as a gift, right? And making good use of it. And again, it's kind of like letting this dream flow from you to the earth energy. There's no coercion. There's no force here, right? It's just kind of like water just uses the flow of gravity to take it where it needs to go. Yeah. It's like you have the momentum of the universe behind you. You don't have to force things. Things are flowing. It's very nice. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, there's a link at the end of the video. There's a link up here. There's a link down in the video description. New readings for Cancer every Tuesday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time, but I am here every day. You can come back and see me again tomorrow. All right. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Does not cost you anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.